Good morning, everyone. I, Apurva, Project Officer on behalf of City University, would take pleasure of welcoming Ms. Prerna Parsad, who is founder and CEO of EcoPlore, is going to deliver the session on the topic Future and Sustainable Startups. And ma'am is working for more than 8 years in prominent English news channels like CNN, IBN, and India Today. Prerna ma'am chose the path of entrepreneurship, combining her love for travel and vision to create an environmental impact. She started EcoPlore. She spent the first 2 years in ground research by visiting different eco friendly hotels and understanding the real meaning of sustainable tourism. She aims to invest all her income generated from EcoPlore in developing a forest and returning it back to nature. Without any further delay, ma'am, I hand over this session to you.
Okay. Thank you, Apurva. Thank you for inviting me on this platform. So, we all have been hearing this term climate change, global warming, and the topic for today, which is future of sustainable startups. Uh, we decided to keep this topic considering that maybe 10 years from now or 20 years from now, when all of you would be uh, entering your middle age, and what will become the most important thing for you. So all those who have visited Delhi or who are living in metro cities, or who have this uh, who know how the condition of pollution is there in all the developed cities in India. And because I come from Delhi, here, I mean, there will be no human being or no person who will say that Delhi is not polluted. We all know that there's like air pollution, there's water pollution. And the idea why I came up with EcoPlore, or why I started my company, was that if we have all the comforts in life, but if we do not have pollution free air and clean water, there's no worth of anything. There's no worth of all the advanced technology and everything. So the air and water are the two basic things, and then food. All these are the basic things which we need, and mm, these are becoming more and more polluted, and that is a need that we need to save them. So I'll share with you a video, and that will give an idea that why we started EcoFloor and what is it all about, and then I'll continue the startup. Um, how can I share my screen? So basically, apologies for this delay and technical problem. So EcoFloor is all about sustainable tourism. Uh, we all love to travel, but when we are traveling, do we think about the carbon emission or the pollution which our entire travel process, from the transportation to hotel stay to the fun activities create? And you will be shocked to know that travel industry creates almost 10% of the total carbon emission in the entire world, which is huge. So EcoFloor had the mission to reduce the carbon emission by promoting hotels which are made up of local architecture. So I visited almost 150 to 200 eco hotels all across the country to understand that why are they sustainable, and which hotel is genuinely sustainable. So there are two criteria which we figured out, which is common among all the hotels apart from some exceptional geographies like cold deserts or hot deserts. And these two criteria was that every hotel which is made up of local architecture, which is mud, wood, bamboo, stone, and they need to have at least 30% tree coverage inside their campus. So these were common criteria, two common criteria, and all the eco hotels which you see on our platform follow these criteria. And apart from them, they also have solar panel, composting, waste management, rainwater harvesting, and many other features. These hotels, they grow their own vegetable, they have their organic farming, and they also are very close to nature. So these are all offbeat destinations and what we call as experiential travel. So you don't, once you reach the hotel, you don't need to go out of it. You can just stay there for 2 day 3 nights. And I'll just share some examples of some of the hotels which will give you a better idea. For example, we have a place in Jim Corbett, uh, where the owner of the stay, he bought an entire hill and gave it back to nature. So instead of constructing multiple cottages, he made just one house, and the entire area was meant for the wildlife which lives there. And this is one of the only property where in India where a tigress gave birth to two cubs in the private campus of that hotel, which is very very interesting. And if you visit that place, it has a water stream which is only accessible to people who are visiting the hotel. So it's not a public waterfall or a public water stream. Then we have another place in Goa, where you are sitting and having your lunch or dinner, and there's a water stream passing beside you, and within 5 minutes of walk there is a waterfall. So we have very interesting such properties. There is a place in Shanti Niketan. If anybody is interested in culture, that particular, it's a mud bungalow, two-storied mud bungalow, and the entire hotel has everything sourced from Shantiniketan. So from linen to the toiletries to the furniture to the food items, the ingredients, everything is sourced from Shantiniketan town or the village surrounding it. So we try to follow vocal for local also, and the aim is basically to provide employment to local people who are running these hotels instead of focusing on the chain of hotels. And they're like, some people may have this misconception because that are these mud hotels or wood cottages, would they be comfortable enough? So we used to get this questions before COVID, that are these mud houses leaking, or do they have western commode or not? So most of these properties, or almost all the properties, have the highest level of comfort because they are boutique properties run by private individuals who stay nearby the hotel, and they personally take care of the property. And one more very important feature is that we personally visit each of these hotels to assure the safety, comfort, hygiene, and fun factor. And all these visits are generally done by solo women travelers, so that when a solo women traveler is safe, then of course it is safe for everybody else. Uh, I want to share about this stay which we have, not a stay, but almost a private museum which we are trying to develop in Delhi NCR. So this place is called One Bhoj, and it was housed to architect Revti and Vasant Kamath, and they are pioneers in sustainable architecture, and they have made museums and uh, houses for gents and villas. So their own house is made out of mud and stone, and all the or material used to make the house is taken from their own campus, inside their campus. More than 80% material. Their doors and windows are made out of a 200-year-old dismantled heritage building, and they took the doors and windows from there and fitted it in this particular house. We have almost like 9 different parts of composting which we do. So we they are like smaller leaves which get composted separately, the food waste gets composted separately, then there are these twigs which get composted separately, and we don't use any catalyzer. So that means which we just segregate the waste very nicely, and then we leave it over at a particular locate place, and after 6 months it becomes manure on its own. Then we have rainwater harvesting where there are channels made. So without using any artificial thing, we just have these channels through which the water gets collected at one particular place and then it seeps into the soil. Then we have this very interesting grey water treatment. So we have around two washrooms and one kitchen, and then there are three different outlets where anaerobic bacteria, again no chemical, is being used to treat the wastewater, and then the clean water is released in the forest. So, and this place is open for people to visit from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening, and people can come and understand how sustainable living is done and how comfortable a mud house can be. Now, future of sustainable startups. So right, we all keep on reading about the valuation of different startups and how much money is being invested into them, and most of these investments are done in right now mostly in consumerism based startups. So, for example, be it Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, or many other cosmetic based companies or e-commerce aggregators. All these actually are adding to consumerism because these are very easily accessible to you. So for example, in my own house, in one day we do three Blinkit. So just imagine how much carbon emission is created by the delivery person to come from their store or wherever they are having these products to our house. And unnecessary lot of stuff is being bought because they're very easily accessible to us. Yeah, just imagine like maybe even 10 years back or 20 years back, if we had to buy something, we had to go to the market to buy it. So we will not go in one day, we will not visit the market 3 times, 4 times. But when you're sitting at home and you can just order food, or you can order any clothing or anything, you just have to click a button. So there is no effort being made, and this is adding to a lot of carbon emission which is created, and to a lot of unnecessary buying. So today when you go back home, or if you are at home, just have a look at your cupboard or your house and see that you will find lot of unnecessary stuff which is of no use, but you bought it because it was easily available on the website and you clicked it. So why am I sharing this? Because in the Western world, in US, Europe, Australia, there is a different kind of startup range which is emerging. So because now we are talking about sustainability, and we know that our planet is in a crisis, or actually the human race is in crisis, considering the COVID which happened, or a lot of other diseases which are coming because of climate change. um, the future startups in India or in the world will be impact based. So if somebody has studied, or if they're interested in analyzing the startups which are becoming the focus, now it will be impact based startups and mostly environment startups. So since I'm working on it, like there are a lot of accelerators, incubators, grants, all those are now shifting towards sustainability or climate tech, or in climate tech or environment startups, and also women-led startups. So if there are women right now who are listening to me, I'm sure like if you go ahead and think of starting a company, you will have an added advantage because you are a woman. And uh, I also got this advantage. So if you're a woman and you're thinking of starting a company, I'm sure this is like the right time for you. And if you are a man or woman, it doesn't matter. But if you're thinking of doing something which is creating an impact, be it on environment or be it socially, this is the time for you, because the startups like these are going to get more attention and more funding in the coming future. Thank you so much, and I'm open to take the questions by you. Hello, Apurva, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm open to take the questions now.
Okay, ma'am. Just wait for a while, ma'am. I'll drop the message on the chat box. Student will drop their question there, right?
Sure, sure,
Okay,
sure.
ma'am.
They can also ask in the. I mean, if you're
Ma'am,
comfortable.
actually, they all are muted right now. They
Okay,
gonna drop message on the chat box
okay,
because
fine.
then there is like an echo, then we
Okay,
can't understand, right?
okay, fine.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So Sheel Jain is having a question. Apurva, Sushil Jain has raised his hand. So maybe like if we can unmute just one person.
Ma'am, actually, he dropped the question in the chat box.
I cannot see it. He has just raised his hand. So it is possible
Ma'am,
to.
ma'am, the question is what kind of person makes a successful entrepreneur?
Okay, okay, yeah, got it. So there are two, three things which are really important. One is passion for the idea which you're working upon, and like it is said that if you're running a startup, you should actually the maximum number of failures you have, the more successful you will become. So for that, you need a lot of passion for the work which you're doing, because there will be people who will be criticizing you. Your family may not support you, and what keeps you still going is the passion. Second is persistence, because suppose you fail like in something which you're working upon. So still, if you have to continue, still if you keep on continuing and you keep on improving, that is again very very essential, because if suppose you failed once, twice, thrice, and you give up, then you give up. But if you fail once, twice, thrice, four times, but if you are continuing to work on your product or service, I'm sure you will be successful. That's how we also worked on EcoPlore. And I think these are the two main things. Rest, the skill of doing it, the different qualities, all that you learn while working on it, or you get a team member who can work on it. But the passion and persistence is something which is the most essential element, I think.
Thank you so much,
So
ma'am.
much.
Yeah, there is another question by Gurdeep Singh. How do I determine whether I'm capable of starting a business or not? I think the capability is all dependent on how passionate you are about the idea you want to work upon. If you are sure that this is something which will never demotivate you, or which you will never get bored of, and you can continue to work on it despite the failures, despite the successes, all that becomes secondary. But your passion and your dedication to your startup idea is most important. And one thing which becomes a little important is the finance backup. So for example, if you are not able to make revenue from your startup, either you should have some saving to continue, at least to meet the basic needs of your life, which is food and shelter. And or you should have somebody in your family, or maybe a team member if you have a co-founder, who can support your basic livelihood. That is something which is very important. Rest is, you keep on working on it, you keep on working on it, and you will become more polished, and you will learn more and more about it. So for example, when I started EcoPlore, I had no background in business, no background in tourism, and I had not studied any environmental science also. So I was completely like I started with a blank slate, and I was a journalist before this, so that did help me in running EcoPlot, but that was not the main skill required. So I learned everything on the way. So I think if you are passionate enough to work on your idea, you will get all the skills you require. You just need to be passionate, and you need to be working on it persistently without giving up. Then the next question is, what roles does sustainability play in guiding product design? So as I mentioned that the next decade, or the next, I mean, the future, the entire future is dependent on sustainability. So whether you are building a product, or you are working for any service industry, uh, if you do not keep sustainability in mind, you may have a lesser advantage. So if you want to succeed, if you want to be, it's like, if you want to stand out, if you want to be, if you don't want to be outdated, so any product or service which doesn't focus on sustainability will be outdated in the future industry, or the future startup part. So even if you just have a look around, all the bigger companies, be it Reliance, be it Tata, be it Adani, all these which are not startups, which are well established companies running from past 50 to 100 years, they have now started to use sustainability or carbon emission in their existing product. So that is, although greenwashing in most cases, because they have hardly made any changes in their product and service, but they have just added the label of sustainability. but startup industry has shown that even if you're not a family based business, or you're not running a company since last 50 years, you can still become very big in a very short time. So if you do not have the element of sustainability in your startup, you may not be able to scale up. So that is why every product, every service need to follow the sustainability aspect. Whether you are not a sustainability based startup, even if you are a general company, you have to fulfill the elements of sustainability. uh, a question by issue: how much value does your company or organization place on sustainability? So our focus is to become the go-to platform for sustainable tourism. So if I would love to hear from your group, if you can just write a message if you have heard about any company in the field of tourism industry which only focuses on sustainability, which like whose prime goal, vision, objective, aim is reduction of carbon emission and working around sustainability. uh, if you know any such company, I'll be very happy to know about them and read and understand more, and even do a collaboration if possible. But as much as I know, there is no aggregator platform, there is no curated aggregator platform like ours which focuses only on sustainability. So for EcoPlore, sustainability is the number one priority. If we have to make a decision and we have to choose between sustainability and commercial viability, we will always go for sustainability. So for us, sustainability is more important than the commercial gains, and you can understand that how much value we place to it. There's another question. What strategies you use to make your business successful? Again, like keep on working on it despite the failures, despite whatever criticism people may tell you, despite having support or not having support from your family or friends. You just for a very successful startup, their startup or their business is like a baby to them. So just understand, for a mother, baby is most important, whether people say anything or they comment or they criticize, the mother will not hear. So similarly, if you have started a company, the company is your baby, and you should not bother about what others are thinking. You should keep on innovating, you should keep on experimenting, and you should be ready to take all the failures which come to your path. And there is a saying that if you have not tasted failure, you will not know how success tastes. So just yesterday we got selected in one of the it's called Tech 30. It's by Your Story. So it's a 30 tech based company. They have selected from all across India. And Your Story is like, you must be knowing, it covers all, only startups, focusing on startups. So those small successes really makes you very happy and satisfied from inside. So do not bother about the failures, just focus on the successes which you're getting. But your failures will make you realize the importance of your success. uh, Thank you so much. Apurva, are we concluding it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time for sparing for our students. And I request IT cell to please show the word of appreciation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shall we wind this session now?
Yes, yes, we
Thank you
can
so
do.
much, ma'am.
My pleasure.